All right.
Today we are blessed people to have a couple that everybody in the XRP family knows. The wonderful show, as everybody knows, Dave and Judy, who have taken some time away from their 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend here in Vegas, and we're so blessed to have them here. We would like everybody to know that Dave and Judy that we get to see behind the scenes at the show, and just share a little bit about their lives and who they are with you guys. So that's kind of what this is about. And Dave, I know nobody knows who you are, but who are you? What do you do?
Well, Judy and I, we've been together for an amazing journey, 19 years. Judy and I have 6 children combined. Wow. And we always tease one another. They say they love one another, can't stand us. Yeah. That's how it is as a blended family. But as they've grown up, now that they're in their 30s and having kids of their own, we have just become more and more brilliant every year. But that, in a nutshell, we're big family people. Mm-hmm. Judy?
Yeah, family's very important. Our faith is very important, of course, and you and the audience are very important to us. We really have a heart to take people with us on our journey and not just be selfish. And I would say one thing about us that you probably know, but I'll say it again, is we're not in competition with each other. And that's what I love about this community. Yeah. It's not like, those are my people, you're not allowed to talk to them. We're everybody's people. And we're here to help each other be as successful as we can and help each other lift up. Yeah. But I'll say one thing about David that you guys don't know, maybe you know, is that in the morning when he does coffee chat, he literally just rolls out of bed. Like, this is not filmed. He crawls out of bed, he puts on his hat, he has his jammies on the bottom, his slippers. They even have a hole in them because he wears them so much. Yeah. And he puts on his shirt and his Mr. Rogers sweater, and he goes out and he really does have his first cup of coffee with you guys.
First. And the reason I do that primarily is because I want the community to really feel like we are right with them. And, if I'm waiting, you know how it is when you get your first cup of coffee while you're vibrating to it. Well, for us, I just think, okay, if they're going to have it with me, I'm going to save my first sip to have with them. And in my mind, and I guess I just feel like there's a connection with that. And so that is one discipline that I do.
David, you should do coffee chat with him. Like, I have to do makeup. Like, can't just put on a hat. I need glasses and a hat.
That's one thing you don't know about Judy is she will not leave the house unless she is made up. And I remember when we were first married, I would be standing in the bathroom there. And you know how it is, right? And I'm watching my girl take her
transform into a different person.
Off. And I was thinking at the time, how blessed I am. I'm the only one that gets to see this real face without the makeup. And that was very precious to me. It still is. I'll still sit there and admire her as she's taking her makeup off, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
That's one thing maybe you guys didn't know about.
Yeah, that's
TMI. I don't know. If it is, just cut.
It's the little things like
that.
Yeah,
we're pretty transparent that way. And we do have 4 grandchildren.
Yeah,
congrats.
Very happy. Wish they were closer. And that's something about it.
But my son's still working on that. And it's a bit of a point on the show where
you have any favorite daughters?
I have 4, but I think they're all taken. That's right.
You're working on finding the girl. I was going to say, if you already had the girl to practice, is lots of fun.
What's so special about that is like I've gone into these communities and gone to these seminars, and the caliber of women that I've met who've become my friends have really raised that bar. It's like it reminds you of what you really want. I want people in my life with a kind heart and that are giving and love to share and talk and listen and so as soon as I met you both last night, you can see it, your energy, and we see it on your channel, Dave. It's just I just would have a cup of coffee with you every morning. I'm pretty new to the channel, and my dad's like, wait, what, you haven't watched Dave? What are you on there, man? Are you kidding me?
Actually, Judy was the inspiration for it because, we, as people know our story, we got crypto retired us, and in a very, very special way, because we were not looking to fall into it. We were, working for the government, and COVID came along, and of course, you know, they kind of sent us home, the whole thing, and you know, they had their emergency response benefit deal, and in Canada, about 12 million people applied for it. Well, that was 1/3 the population, and I was like, my goodness, Judy, like, I mean, all of our savings are going to get decimated by inflation, you know. And so, of course, went out looking for gold and silver, and of course, nobody had any Canadian mint and stuff. Well, Judy was following someone on YouTube at the time, and she's like, oh, what do you think? Do you think we should do this? Oh, well, why not? And that's how we ended up falling into it. But after crypto retired us, I was driving her insane. You know, there's only so many household projects you can actually do, you know. And she's like, you know, and the lady's used to her husband or man, you know, not to be traditional or, you know, but you used to seeing him outside the door going to work, you know, 9 to 5.
Yeah, but
you know?
I went to work with you. We worked at the
You did.
same place. I was with him 24/7. I'm like, there's got to be something to do. Like, please.
So I get home and I am on her like a fly, you know, and so needless to say, she says, you got to do something. I said, so why don't you do a YouTube channel? I'm like, no, I'm going to want to listen to what I've got to say.
You barely listen to me. He's like, why
So
would anyone else?
I get it. And then she said, and then I was starting them off. I would do them without putting my face out there, right? Because I would do it behind the
It was
scenes.
so boring.
And she says, oh, you got to put your face out. I said, no one wants to see me. So I ended up doing that. And then she's the one that thought up coffee chat. Maybe you should just go out and you have your morning coffee with them. I'm like, what?
Go tell him something in there. Let me sleep in 5 more minutes. Let's
So
go.
Judy and I, as we said, we're great people of
Sorry.
faith. Our part of our big journey in this was our faith journey, and boy, it got tested in a big way. But she says, listen, why don't you do something on Sunday? So on Sundays I do this like sugar on Sunday kind of deal. And I called it sugar on Sunday because, you know, some in the Bible it says it was like honey to my lips, you know. And so I will share a little, you know, encouraging thing for about 5-10 minutes on Sunday.
And
But that all came from her. It was her inspiration.
And I'll say too, maybe one more thing. Some people may not know, but David and I were both pastors in Canada,
Yes.
and so
Bivocational.
bivocational.
Yeah.
We had our full-time government jobs, and then on Sunday we had like a very small, intimate group that
We
we
did missions work.
and we did lots of
primarily,
missions work in Africa and things
That's
like that.
neat.
But that's something, that's probably why people are like, where did Sugar on Sunday come from? You're like preaching on Sunday in your crypto channel? But that's David's passion and heart. And so that's kind of where that came
People,
from.
primarily
People.
people. One thing Judy and I do, we love people.
And we love encouraging them. So we thought
Yeah.
Sugar on Sunday could be an encouraging word, not
Yeah.
just, you know, bad news all the way
That's
through
right.
on Coffee Chat. We gotta
Well,
give something good.
Well, I guess we both do, but we have a philosophy, like we're all like Swiss cheese, you know, we all got our holes, right? But we all have our substance too. Now I can focus on the holes, you know, I can focus on the cheese, you know, I can focus on the substance, and I can,
Yeah.
and that's what I try to do. I want to find the good in everybody. I'm not a perfect person, especially through drive-through restaurants. Tell it.
Okay, if you want to know a thing about, you want to know our life, I'm giving you the nitty gritty, people.
Love it.
No, David is like the happiest, kindest person,
Yeah.
95% of the time. You drive,
98%.
okay, 98%.
98.
But you drive him, you go through a drive-through,
Yeah.
he's like, I need it in a bag separate. I'm like, we're together. Why do we have to? Because I want my fries and you have yours. I'm like, oh, okay. And then if you want to see David go crazy,
Completely nuts.
if you ever see it, we apologize, Matt. Could you just go through and just park over there
And I'm
just
like,
wait? He goes,
This is a drive-through, not a park and, you know,
park and drive. Oh, he
right.
gets so mad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really? That's what you choose to get angry about of everything? So anyway, that's one of
my
his.
things.
Gotta have something.
So anyway, sorry, that's maybe too much
That's
rambling.
one of my
I don't
excellent-
know.
Yeah, I love the way you just own it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right.
it, that's it.
There it is.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right. So that's just a little tidbit about us. I don't know how much
That's so
you want to know about this,
That's
but.
good. I appreciate you saying that.
So,
It's true.
as a guy who's done a YouTube show or 3,
Yeah.
when I first saw you, I was like, wow, what a neat concept. I can't steal that. What else can I steal? But I could totally relate because I knew you were actually sipping the coffee because I would see the expression on your face. And I would do that. I'd be talking along or something. I'd just take a sip and I'm like, oh, damn, that was good.
I know,
Yeah,
You
right?
can't fake it on screen.
can't
It's
fake
it. Or you
at
go,
the top. Yeah, that was hot coffee. You just sip.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can see that one, yeah.
That's right.
You can't fake that one.
You can.
No.
And he loves to walk. He usually does walks when he does his afternoon show.
Well, lately I haven't, but
Yeah, he's just because we've been so busy with coaching and things, so
Coaching
he's
is
been
important.
inside a lot and
You-
he misses that.
You were doing night walks.
Yes, it would be in
Early
the,
evening,
it would be
yeah.
in the afternoon, evening, and
Yeah.
Because it's
you
too
know,
hot in the daytime in
in
Texas.
Texas, you get up
We
there
had to
like
do.
over 100, sometimes
Yeah.
115, 16, and you would just be roasting. So I would do it in the later evening, and basically because I love the outdoors, that's a big part of a Canadian,
Sure.
experience. We grew up. If you didn't like the outside as Canadian, life was miserable for you because you had to love the snow, the rain, and all of that.
That's right.
We played in the snow so much as kids; it was phenomenal. I mean, we almost got buried alive in the snow. So I liked doing these walks outside, and so because of that, I would just be holding my phone, kind of like this, right? Well, after a while, you're starting to get frozen shoulder. You're like, oh my God, you know how you can get trigger lock. Well, YouTubers are going to be walking around like this.
And they're old age.
They're going to get locked up.
It is the truth.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable.
And I need gimbal because I start to shake. It's
Oh,
like, that's not good. I
you
gotta
have-
switch hands.
So do you have a gimbal on your camera?
No, I do not.
Oh,
But
I
I'm
don't
about
have
to
one
get
either.
one.
Oh.
Yeah,
Maybe
my
we need-
wrist is getting kind of gimbaled.
These guys turned me on to a trick little deal.
Yeah.
We have a camera crew right back here, Ron and Kat,
That's
doing
nice.
all the hard work back there.
Yeah.
And they have this little stick that looks just about like that.
Yeah.
I
And it's
see.
got a gimbal.
Camera's
on
got a
it.
gimbal.
So no matter which way you're holding it, it's going to stay level. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's-
look at
you
that.
guys are smart. Good job, guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know your business.
You can tell us YouTubers, we are not professional.
No, not at all. It
Don't
like drives you
try this
crazy.
at home.
We're dinosaurs,
yourself.
all of us. Even the young ones. is
That's
dinosaurs.
right.
Yeah.
Let's do the hard questions now.
Yeah.
Can take the hard.
Oh, no.
There's I think everybody on this couch can relate. Like your channel is so high energy, and it's so and you can't fake that.
No.
You can't. And that's I think what people relate to with our channels
Yeah.
and.
Some people call it
It's-
hyper, but that's
Yes,
okay.
yeah, and just that positive output.
Yeah.
As far as crypto itself and the expansion of this ecosystem, our space, what would you like to see advance, or what would you like to see, like maybe a development or an idea that
Interoperability. I think that absolutely. It's kind of like remember back when the computer was coming out, everyone was proprietary. And things didn't kind of mesh the way that they needed to in order to get that level of cohesion. And I do believe that once we genuinely get interoperability, where you can literally, one blockchain can communicate and speak with the other and all this kind of stuff, and it's seamless for the user, wow, it is going to be something. And I do believe that day is coming. Of course, with central bank digital currencies, which are, I think in a lot of nation states, I think the Bank of International Settlements put out a report that something like 90% of nation states are in the process of developing central bank digital currencies. Well, BIS is working with, by the way, central bank of all central banks, is working with Ripple to solve that interoperability issue. And of course, we know they're using the XRP ledger technology to do that. And I think that hopefully we will get to that position because interoperability will literally bring the masses in because it'll be a seamless experience, user-friendly, not highly technical, like when you have to use MetaMask nowadays and all these different platforms. It can take a level of sophistication that maybe a lot of folks can't necessarily grasp and would also be subject to potentially losing assets, utilizing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest one.
I think, can I answer that question? I think for me, because I do interviews and this space is so complicated, I think I would like to see the truth come out about it, the lies stop with the SEC, for commercials to come out. Like, I'm really looking forward to the XRP Unleashed show come out, a documentary, because we need the truth to come out about this space, because so many people are afraid, they don't believe it, they don't understand where the world is going and where the world's heading. And I think it's important to simplify it for the average Joe, and that's where my interviews come in. I try to just be very simple and ask questions that the average person could say, Mom, here, watch this, and understand what it is. And I think we need honesty, and I think we need to see the space grow where the masses can start joining in and understanding where the economy is going and where the world's going and how it's all connected, because they
So
keep
well
separating it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's all together, it's all one, and that's important.
That's very, very true.
Yeah.
They don't trust the trustless yet.
Yes.
That's a good point.
And the greater
Yeah.
awareness.
Yes.
And to
Yeah.
define that, like, I mean, the reason why we have this terminology in this space, like it's a trustless ecosystem, is because you're not having to trust one another. You're trusting the technology that is immutable. That
Right.
immutability
Yep.
gives such confidence. And some of these things are quantum hardened, where, you know,
Yep.
they're not even they're beyond SHA 256. They're up at
That's
what,
right.
I think SHA 3.
512.
And
Yeah.
levels at which even quantum computing cannot
Mhm.
break. And so in that capacity, you don't have to worry about, well, whether this guy or this, you know, organization over here is going to, you know, maintain their promise. That's why it's trustless. And I think that's a good point, Judy.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, we were talking to Quincy earlier today about on-demand liquidity is so big too, because when you can really, when everybody who wants to buy something right now can buy it anywhere in the world, and somebody instantly wants to give them the credit or the ability to do it, you don't have to go to a broker or an account, punch into the account, oh, is it cleared, are the funds cleared, the whole thing. When all of that is like that,
Instantaneous.
we're in a different world.
Oh, yeah.
In every aspect.
Oh my goodness, do
Yeah.
we have an experience? So Judy and I just went through the process of purchasing a vehicle. Well,
Oh, boy.
you know, we wanted, you know, we wanted to, you know, so we're gonna pay for this car. Well, the dealer, we go to the bank to get the, I guess they wanted, what, a cashier's check?
Cashier's check. Yeah. That's what we
Anyway, the salesman phones up and says, well, I gotta go with you. And my wife's
I
like,
said, David's already in the bank, he's getting the money, we're gonna be right back. He goes, no, you have to come back and I have to go with you. I said, I don't understand. He said, well, I have to see that you're pulling the money from your account. And I said, do you think I have like in the back of my car like a machine
No,
from,
I know.
you
But-
know, printing it? And he
Yeah.
was totally trustless. Like he
yeah,
did
that's
not
right.
believe us.
There was no, well, it wasn't trustless.
Oh.
It's that they
Well,
had,
he didn't trust
they
us.
had
I
no
don't-
it had no confidence.
Confidence.
And the thing with distributed ledger technology is it provides the end user 100% instantaneous confidence.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's going to revolutionize the global financial system in a way most people genuinely can't comprehend. Even in this space, we have a very difficult time digesting the future. Why? Because it's going to revolutionize the way in which the entirety of our world literally works.
Yeah.
Imagine you're able to, what would I say? You know how we are using social media? Now, social media platforms as it is right now, they get a tremendous amount of revenue by selling our data, you know, to all of these data mining places. Well, under distributed ledger technology, you will have the power to control who gets that data, and
right.
maybe you yourself will be able to benefit from your own personal data, either in the form of digital tokens that they give you for it or something like that. So a very, very,
Different world.
yes.
We're heading the other way around for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing is too is the deflationary values of it all. Everything's going to not have to every layer of purchase 5 middlemen.
That's right.
All of that will be eliminated, and that's really huge because there's so many people that are overcome with inflation these days, and they don't understand because that's the world they live in. But
Right.
all of that can go away.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to profit at every level, only end line user and marketplace. And even then those profits can be minuscule because the person who produces it gets it directly, immediately to the person who consumes it.
True.
And it's so big. And we don't understand what that's going to do to inflation and deflation. New technologies, what they're doing to us is a new tech comes out and they print enough money to overcome the value of that savings to us with the new technology.
Well,
They're overprinting.
Most people think of inflation in this capacity. Oh, it cost me more to buy that. What they're not realizing is it's not that item became more valuable, but that the monetary instrument utilized to purchase that item actually lost value. That's what inflation really is.
They all mess
You know,
up.
it's not that the item became more expensive because it's more valuable. It's
Yeah.
the instrument used to buy it has become worth less,
That's
and
it.
eventually it will be worthless.
When I lived in my past marriage, I was a missionary in Belarus and Ukraine for 12 and a half years, so I raised my daughters overseas. And I was there when the ruble collapsed. And I was there when the money was worth nothing. And so it was frightening. And I think that people aren't comprehending what's coming.
Yeah.
When I was there, they made an announcement. If you have your money under your mattress, if you have your money wherever, because a lot of the Russians didn't trust the banks, so they had it like in their house.
Yeah.
They said you have 30 days to spend it or it's worthless. And so people were in the grocery stores buying the shelving. They were buying anything. I mean forks, anything, because they knew in 30 days if they don't buy something,
Yeah.
it's worth nothing. And
Wow.
you'd go to the grocery store and they would say, okay, something that's $1, add 2 zeros. And so something that was $1 is now, you know, $100.
Wow.
And so then you're like, oh, okay, now this is $500 to buy an apple and an orange and some fruit. And then the next day they'd say add more zeros. And
And then
eventually,
they started taking them off.
yeah, then they take them off, and it kept moving because of inflation like this. And at one point we were buying food for millions. We'd go in and be $10,539,338. I'm like, this is overwhelming to me.
Yeah, hyperinflation is something
It was
most
something,
people can't wrap
and then
their
at the end of the
Yeah.
30
So
days,
quantum.
like toilet paper was very sparse. There were, you know, it was a very difficult time, and you would go into like a public bathroom and you would see dollar bills with stuff on it because they used it as toilet paper.
Because the
Because
toilet paper was more
because the
valuable
toilet
than the
paper was more
money.
valuable than the money.
Yeah.
And so it was really
Yeah.
heartbreaking. And so I think being in this digital asset is a blessing for us who
Oh, yeah.
understand it, because I think it's going to insulate us from what's coming.
Oh, I
And then
agree.
the family members that aren't and the friends who aren't as blessed as we're going to be, they're going to be devastated, and it's
Yeah.
going to hit them upside the head, and it's heartbreaking, really.
It is. What an amazing story to go through all that. I had a little bouts of that in Mexico when the peso dropped overnight, but that was only like 10%. And it really, it stabilized, it just took a zero off. But
Yeah.
even that was pretty tough to go through. I can't even imagine going through that.
It was, because you went to
Yeah.
go feed your family and just get some cheese and some milk, and there was none. I'm like, what do you mean there's no cheese and milk? We produce the cheese in this country.
Yeah.
Why is there no? We have cows here. You make your own.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. Sugar.
Yeah.
They imported or exported all their sugar that they made in the country.
Right.
And so it was very.
That's
and,
amazing.
And one thing,
Story.
we became kind of homesteader, preppery
Oh,
people
yeah.
because
No choice.
I had to, because I knew what it was to not be able to go to the grocery store and get something, and it was
Yeah.
terrifying as a mother. And I decided, no, we will always have more than enough in my pantry. So the kids come to the house and they use it as a grocery store. Just grabbing some toilet paper. I'm like, gotcha. Yeah, do you have any yeast from baking bread? Yeah, I got yeast. You know, like just
never be
things.
without again.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just
Great
a different level of where this economy, where this whole space and finance is taking us
And the
into
North
a
American
different.
mind cannot digest hyperinflation.
No.
Primarily because,
No.
you know, look, under the Nixon administration, we know that Henry Kissinger had gone over to Saudi Arabia and worked out the petrodollar deal. Well, that has benefited Western economies to a point that most of us can't even fathom. And yet,
Yeah,
we
we
know
don't
that
get
the
it.
petrodollar is completely dead. About a month, 2 months ago, China purchased over 1 million barrels of oil, utilizing the digital yuan to do it. And you hear these countries that are just recent inductees into the BRICS nations, so Saudi Arabia, Argentina, major oil producers.
Yeah.
And they've already said, look, you're not going to hold on to it just for US dollars anymore.
Why would they?
But the thing
Exactly.
is, it's like having a tsunami way out there.
Mhm.
Now you know it's coming in.
Yeah.
But most people are just laying on the beach. They're laying on the beach, they're not insulating themselves, they're not positioning themselves so that when that tidal wave comes in.
They're going to
'Cause
start running and they're going to
think
get
about
caught in
this
the waves.
this actual fact, statistical fact. There are more $100 bills in Russia than there are in the United States. Now that is mind-bending. And when you think about all those foreign currencies that are being held in central banks around the world, and the reason for that is due to the fact of the United States dollar being a reserve currency, primary world reserve currency. When all of that comes back, they can't just burn it. They cannot just burn it. Now, do you believe that they did this? It's happenstance. We're just reacting. No, it's with intention.
Sure.
Well, we went to the Netherlands on a trip. We were going on a mission trip, and we stopped in Amsterdam, and we wanted to buy some things, and they said they knew we were Americans, and they said, we don't take your dollars.
They
We
did
said,
not want
"What?"
US dollars.
They
We had
would not, we
euros.
had to
Yeah.
use euros or our credit card, because we said, oh, we have American dollars, because in the old days, you could just
Oh,
pay
they
with dollars
love
and
it.
they love it. They're like, we don't want your money.
They don't
I'm
want
like,
it.
what's happening here?
This is already starting to happen in Mexico.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
in
okay.
Mexico. Yeah, not the border towns, but further south.
Wow.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is. It's different, so.
How
We don't want that dollar.
how do we combat that fear and reality of inflation and hyperinflation happening in our lives? It's the ownership and sharing the knowledge and
Yes.
Yeah.
having deflationary assets and
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then helping
Yeah.
propel them. you know?
Understanding
We are the
asset
owners.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the owners,
Yeah.
and we're the ones. It's
Yeah, we're there.
it just to me it feels like the people, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited for people younger than me who are getting it and have computers and tablets and
Yeah.
the knowledge and
Oh, yeah.
that's already like I feel like a dinosaur,
Oh,
we don't even have gimbal cams,
I know, that's right.
But
And a 3-year-old can get into your iPhone, break the lock and everything. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we did an interview this morning with somebody. He's like 25, right? And he's just
Wow.
he's just
That's
he's
awesome.
just
The knowledge,
he's a
right?
creator.
Yeah.
He's doing it. He's actually
Mhm.
doing it,
Yeah.
and it's so exciting
good.
to
Yeah, it
support
is.
that and share it.
Yeah.
No, that's.
We're lucky to be part of this whole
Yes.
space. It's my wife really hates when we call it the space, but it's really what it is. It's not just a community.
No.
It's bigger than XRP as well.
Yes.
Like, we have other coins. I'm sure you guys probably have a couple.
We hold about 10 different ones, but.
I know, you have to set a limit, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, you just can't
Everyone
manage it.
comes
Yeah. When you're your own broker, right, and you're managing this stuff,
Yeah.
you know, that's one of the things and we had decided that before we even decided what the 10 things
We
were
thought
gonna
we could
be.
maybe handle 10 because there's on each finger we can go,
Yeah.
we have this.
Yeah, you can count
And
it.
count them out,
Yeah.
but if you
When
go
you
to
run out of
toes, you're
fingers, you probably
done.
have
You have too many.
Yeah, you're good.
That was our motto, just simple.
That's
You know,
great.
he has to simplify it for me, nice and simple.
That's right, that's right.
I love it. You all.
How about that one question that I really liked? Where do the two of you see yourselves or this community, either way, in 10 years? Or 5 years at least?
5 years?
Yeah.
Where I see our communities, those of us who are invested into cryptocurrency and XRP or whatever,
Sure.
our lives will be changed. We'll be able to retire. You'll be able to pay off your house if you don't have that. You'll be able to have your goals and things that your heart's desires will be able to do. You'll be able to help others. I think past that, I believe it'll be a blessing to your next generation. You'll be setting up your, household down. Your generational wealth will be what we have here. Will go to our kids, and it will set them up for life. And in simplified terms, I'm
Oh,
simple.
that's
no,
perfect.
that's
Yeah,
really
but
well said.
that's where I think it's going. I think there's some people in this space that are thinking, oh, it's like a slot machine downstairs. I'm put in 100, chink chink, and I went 10 million. And it's like, it's not gonna be like that probably for them this time at least, or maybe not down the
Yeah.
road. But I think for us who are in this space, it's going to change our lives.
Yeah.
It already has changed ours,
It
but I
has.
think it will give us to the next level, all of us,
Yeah.
where we're
That's
at.
great.
I kind of liken it to, like in the early days when these countries were just being, established and, the message was go west, young man. Go west, young man. Because there's opportunity, there's adventure. Yeah, there's risks, there's dangers, there's rattlesnakes, but go west and carve out your thing. Well, the thing is this, is that, we may not be the Lewis and Clarks, right, who cut the trail. But the group that came after were the real risk takers, the pioneers, that were willing to sacrifice all because they knew the end result, even if just a few of us made it. Well, after the pioneers came, the settlers came because they now came by train, not by wagon. And then after the settlers came, the merchants came. After the merchants came, the industry came. And when the industry came, the institutions came in big. Well, who really benefited the most in that big move? Well, of course, the guys that struck gold, and they're the first ones out there to do it. But next to them are the pioneers. And for those that are willing to kind of go west right now, no one's saying, hey, look, mortgage the house, bet the farm, any of that type of thing. But to dip your toes in this water in such a way, at least you owe it to yourself to go out and research it. And if at the end of the day you come to the conclusion that it's not something that I really feel is gonna match up with my risk tolerance. Well, then you can look back and you can say, well, I did my due diligence, I at least researched it. Hey, it wasn't for me, and yeah, I made the mistake of my lifetime. Or you can, I mean, maybe, but
So
you can,
true.
or you can look at it from that perspective. Now, having said that, one of the things that I really encourage people to think of is not just the accumulation of wealth. Right now, we're seeing a massive push against capital gains. And it's almost like getting success financially free is almost bad. It's almost frowned upon. And it's like, wow, those rich people. Well, think of this.
Yeah.
Sometimes folks don't know what that entrepreneur had to suffer and go without to get there.
Oh, for sure.
And they don't see the cost.
No,
they
they
see,
don't.
they see the result, but
Yeah.
not the cost. Well, I'll tell you what, Judy and I literally sacrificed. While most of our friends were going on vacation and buying new cars, I'll tell you what, this new car that we just purchased, when Judy and I, for the most of our, we have been driving around in a 2002 Chevy Tahoe. The only warranty left in it is in these two hands right here.
Yeah.
And, we have had those sacrifices. We know exactly, look, when we were first together, we were working, I was working with the federal government.
I wasn't
but-
a Canadian yet, so I couldn't work. So.
But what we were doing is I ran a side business, doing janitorial work, and we were the janitors, And I'll tell you what, Judy and I this was our treat on Wednesday. We would stop in at Burger King. We'd order the Whopper meal.
For
We'd get
$5.
For $5, we'd
Yeah.
get the fries and you get the drink that you can refill and share yourself. We'd fill out the survey on the back of that little receipt and we'd get the other Whopper for free. And so that was
That's
a big
the
deal.
truth.
Now we
Nice.
did that for a long, I remember the
Life hack.
times where,
It was.
it's not like, but we were so tight in our budget, there are days we would afford one tomato. And that was it.
Yeah.
Not that that's all we had to eat was one tomato. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that for that grocery order, that's all that was there for that. And it was going to make it through. Now we would usually, we'd plan out that meal. We would come home and have bacon tomato sandwiches after church, and that was it. That one tomato. And so
Or we go to Costco and feed the kids. Eat as many hot dogs and fries as you want. Free drinks.
We bring the kids because $1.50.
We could afford that. That was a good
But
deal.
the thing is, a lot of people, you know why most people don't achieve their dreams in life? Is not because it's unattainable. It's because they lose the resolve to do it.
Yeah.
They will not go through the pain. Now, I have an illustration that really hit home for me, and it's kind of funny, kind of sad at the same time. So here I was.
What are you gonna say?
I was living alone in this. Oh my gosh, this apartment that I had was one of those, ones where you go to work and the women of the evening came home. It was in
It
a
was in
real
that
bad
part
part
of
of town, but it's what I could afford.
Yeah.
Now, a buddy of mine had given me a fax machine, for those who remember what fax machines were. And I'm thinking, what do I need this fax machine for? So I took it down to a local pawn shop. I pawned this thing off. And I brought home a Yamaha guitar. I had all this time on my hands going through that divorce and separation. I thought to myself, well, I can at least, study, learn how to play guitar. Maybe that'll preoccupy my mind. The first song in the songbook was Lost My Partner.
Man.
And here I am, putting my fingers on the strings now. As I did that, boy, they got sore and sore and sore until they literally cracked. And they would bleed, and I ended up with calluses. And every time I pick up the guitar, I'd have to look where I'm putting my fingers. I'd be thinking, I am never going to learn how to play this instrument. But I just stuck with it. One day, I kid you not, I picked up that guitar, bang. My fingers went right where they needed to go. Obviously, that's muscle memory, right? Well, it's almost like a light bulb just turned on in me. Pow. And I realized right at that moment, what a life lesson. I realized, look, in life, we're going to go through a lot of changes. Well, there might be some pain involved, right?
Yeah.
But if you can just stick with it, it can become effortless. And then you know what you do? You just move to the next level. And that's what a disciple is, because it's discipline. And one of the things our culture cannot stand is self-discipline, because we do not want to say no. We do not want to say no. And Judy and I, you shared the no.
How we started in crypto is we started in
When we started. Mhm.
we started because we were really on a tight budget. We
Yeah.
decided to do a no account.
Yeah.
And so our no account looked like, hey, let's go out for dinner now that we can, and we're not at that sharing
Yeah.
a Whopper anymore.
Yeah.
Let's go out for dinner, and then we'd say, oh,
No.
we're not going to do it. We'll take that money, we'll
that
put it
we
in an
were going to
envelope,
spend on that.
and we'll put it into crypto.
And we'll put it in the no account. And that
Yeah.
no account was, because a lot of
Started
people will come
growing
out and they'll
it.
say something to the
I
fact,
can't
"Look,
afford it.
I don't have
any extra
anything
money,
to
not
invest."
one dime.
And they'll also say this, what is my little difference going to make?
My $25.
My $25. And you know, but
A
I
lot.
had heard that, you probably have heard this,
Oh.
you heard the story about the starfishes, yes?
No.
So the starfish story is, you know, there's this old guy, he's out on the beach and he's picking up starfish.
No, there's the starfish all
No, I
came
know,
up.
they're all on the beach. But,
Yeah,
you know.
oh, okay.
So this old guy's out on the beach and he's tossing starfish into the ocean, you know. Well, this kid comes along, he's looking up and down the beach, looking at what this guy's doing. There are millions of starfish all over the beach. And so he says, what difference is it gonna make? You know, you're never gonna get this done. Well, the old guy bends over, he picks up a starfish, he just flings it into the sea. He says, well, it made a difference to that one, didn't it? You see? And so I'm not the creator of that story. Someone else said that, but that stuck in my mind.
That's it.
Even a small amount, and the scripture literally says, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Because and think about this, most everything starts with a very small seed. Now you start thinking of your money like seed. Well, I'll tell you what, if I was to take an apple seed, and I was to go over to Dubai, and I was to plant that in the red desert over there, am I getting any apples?
Not any.
Not many, but why not? Well,
Well,
soil matters. That's
yeah,
why not.
that's
It's
right.
not the seed. And that's where I say,
Yeah.
do the research. You owe it to yourself. Find good soil for your seed.
And we also, our philosophy is, in the Bible it talks about, you know, how Jesus fed the 5,000
Whoa,
and he
this is
took
big, yeah.
loaves and fishes, 5
Yes,
loaves and 2
yes,
fishes. And
yes,
so what we
yes.
say to anyone out there, what I'm going to say to you
It's
is
what we
that
said
it
to
doesn't,
ourselves.
we said to ourselves, it doesn't matter how much you have,
Yeah.
you do it and God will multiply it. Because
Loaves and fishes. I
Yeah,
remember
loaves
that.
and fishes,
We
that's
would
what we
walk around
say.
Whenever we thought it's so
We don't have
small,
enough,
it's not
it's
going to
not-
make such a big difference. Loaves and fishes. Loaves and
'Cause
fishes.
you
Because
can
Jesus took 5 loaves and 2 fish and fed 5,000 people.
Yeah, so we
if he can
figured.
do that then, he can do that now.
That's our philosophy.
That's it.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that story because there's so many people, and we see them all the time in the chat. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, you know, you're a baby boomer, it's your fault, and you're a rich guy, or something. You know, we get a lot of that from
Yeah.
a lot of the younger people. And it's such a great lesson because
Yeah.
all of us started with nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that's well, most of
That's
us.
right. Most of us. yeah.
But what happens is when you put a few dollars in, and then you look over, and like you're talking about, the no list is perfect. I can remember thinking to myself, okay, one less Starbucks coffee added up at the end of the month is like how many extra people?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
wait a minute.
You start thinking about
You're like,
different ways.
wait
Yeah.
1 minute.
Don't get your nails done. Maybe do something different with your
Yeah,
hair. I
that's
mean, if
right.
you really want it bad enough,
Yeah.
you'll make a way. I mean,
Yeah.
let's say
That's
if
why I
it's,
say that, yeah.
you know, people say, I don't have any time. Well, if it's important to you, you'll make time.
Yeah.
If you knew that was your mom's last 10 minutes, it doesn't matter what you had on the schedule, you'll stop and you'll spend that moment with her or
Yeah.
with your loved one. But it's priorities. And
It
I
is.
think that we love to make excuses in our, you
But
know.
it's because our culture has conditioned us to seek comfort over, achieving goals. Seek, self-satisfied. I'd rather have it now. Have it
Yeah.
now, pay for it later.
Yeah.
On and on and on. And we've just become so conditioned to have that kind of mindset and this is another thing too. We
Sorry.
we throw this out
Yeah.
there.
Sorry, you ask a YouTuber a
No,
question,
we
you
get
know
this.
he's gonna
No.
keep talking.
But this is very true. A lot of people equate happiness, right? They look for happiness. Well, happiness depends on happenings, and those things aren't guaranteed. Joy isn't.
That's right.
Joy isn't. You can have self-satisfaction. Some of the greatest
Yeah.
things that I consider true wealth is the peace you can have in life. Because I know wealthy people that have almost zero peace.
Miserable.
I kid
Yeah,
not. I kid you not.
miserable,
I literally know
Yeah.
people that are worth millions
Mm.
and are not content, are not happy. And one of the greatest gifts a person can give themselves is that contentment
And peace.
And peace.
Yeah.
And people think that comes from out there. No, it does not. Contentment it is from in here.
From within, yeah.
You
Yeah.
content, and I'll tell you the sense of relief that comes with that the lack of anxiety and that. Now, not to say that we haven't, you know, had our anxious moments. Of course we have.
Oh, yes.
You would not be a human being if you didn't feel it. But the thing is this, you know, when people say, hey, take the emotion out of it, what they're really talking about, a lot of people think, well, how do you do that? Like, because you're going to have feelings. But what you're really doing is you're not bifurcating those emotions, right? What you're doing is you're learning, you're training yourself to make decisions even though you don't feel it. You make a decision not based on the feeling. And that hurts. The flesh doesn't like that. I mean, we don't like it. And our culture out there, every commercial you see, every kind of, you know, thing is really about, and that's why obesity runs rampant in North America, is because you can have it now, eat it now. Who cares about the diabetes later? You can just go to the doctor and get put on some medication that's going to cure you, and on and on and on. And sorry to say, I ate my way into type 2 diabetes, and I wish I had more self-discipline. Now, I am working against it. Every time these guys have ice cream, I'm like, oh, my father, I can't. And I have to say no.
Yeah. The moments in my life, like, that's it, David, is the best moments that I can look back. And right, I'm in that time right now where it's just spiraling up, as I call it. It's when you've got the momentum going, and it takes self-discipline. It takes just, let me just push this snowball down the hill.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think we can, everybody in this room knows, to be a crypto pioneer, it takes discipline, it takes sacrifice, and it takes doing your due diligence.
And a lot of faith, because I say to people downstairs, they say, you know, I'm all in. I said, I think everyone here's all in, so we're either all going to be like going on cruises together, we're all on the soup line warming our hands over the fire barrel, because we're all in. It's like, I've never met a group who's all in, and then that's it.
I mean, in this case, there's three kinds of analysis, right? There's sentiment analysis, there's technical analysis, and then there's the fundamental analysis. Well, we know sentiment analysis. Come on, you know this better than anybody, being a trader and everything else. But sentiment analysis, all that has to happen is Jerome Powell to get up there and say, "Oh, we're going to cut the interest rate." Well, before that speech is done, the market's reacting. And then you got, technical analysis has some merit, but let's be honest, it's theory based, and they'll say, "Well, when we see these patterns, 70% probability we're going to get this over, right?" But the one thing that we know, and absolutely brass tacks facts, fundamental analysis. And the fundamentals are screaming, this is the future. This is the future. And it is the future.
It is.
And I think to go back to Judy's point about, the people that are controlling the narrative, they're not burying it. It can be found, but like I say, are buried, but not deep. You have to dig for it, but they're certainly not proclamating it. And that's where, take the shields down, show the truth of what you're doing. And because a lot of these people that are going out there trying to really legislate it, they are big holders. They're big holders.
They're lying if they say they're not, right?
They're being so disingenuous. But the problem with that, as unethical and as disingenuous as that is, they're not breaking any real rules, But that's just the way it is.
Did they make that?
And it's, you just said something really important. The valuable, you said a lot of important things, didn't you? Why there was only one thing. There was something you just said that really rings true with me. And that is, so many people think that at 60 cents, 55, whatever it is today, XRP, is expensive. And what I really want everybody to understand is, it was more expensive at 5 cents because of what you just said, Dave. It didn't have the fundamentals that it does now.
It was more risky.
It was way more risky.
Not to mention the asset that was used to buy it was worth more.
That's true too. Inflation comes into it. But a lot of people can't wrap their heads around that. They think, I missed out on Bitcoin. It was $1,000. Now it's $60,000. It's safer trade today than it was then. It was risky back then. Now XRP is not risky.
Right.
Like if you're not paying attention to what that's the one that gets me the most on my channel. There's so many people in crypto that don't know anything about XRP. And how do you not know that?
The people that come in and FUD it, and for those who don't know, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it's amazing to me because I would not spend that amount of effort or time. talking down something that I had no interest in whatsoever, did not believe in.
Yeah,
I
like,
just
why?
would
Who
not do it.
cares?
That
And
makes
so
sense.
when I
Yeah.
hear that, when I see that, I often wonder, because I know early on in this space, there were people that were paid to go up there and create an environment of uncertainty and confusion.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if, look, and I've said to them, okay, so that's your position, all right, so you don't believe in it, I get it, and you think it's going to go to zero, right? Oh, it's going to zero. Well, then short it and show me your short position. Crickets. They're not going to
No
do
more
it.
comments, they're gone,
No more
yeah.
comments, they're gone.
Yeah.
But one quintessential thing that we all need, no matter what it is, no matter what position you're in, you need to have a sense of hope for your tomorrow. And a lot of times people get bogged down so much in today that they lose that real essence of what life makes
That's
life
right.
worth living. The hope that tomorrow can be better than today.
Yeah.
Or even so what, look, there's people that see mountains and this is how they look at them. They don't look at them like, oh my gosh, it's a mountain. They look at, wow, that's an adventure. I'm gonna climb it. I'm gonna conquer that. Look at Everest. How many people have lost their lives trying to conquer that
Get to the
mountain?
top of the hill. Yeah.
That is a powerful, and we can hear that multiple times in multiple ways until that penny drops and you really see, the thing is this, it's not the acquiescence to an idea, it's, am I gonna believe it? Because hearing it and ascribing to it is a whole lot different than really believing it.
Yeah.
And when we start to live what we believe, that's real liberty.
Yep.
Yeah, real liberty.
It is.
Let's be
And-
doers.
And that's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
I have to say, we should probably wrap this up. We gotta get some moving
Yeah.
along here. Take your whole weekend from you. But
We get together with YouTubers, we can just talk for hours. That's what happens every
this
time,
could be a
right?
4-hour show.
I know, right?
Well, go ahead, ask your most important.
No, he's wrapping it up, honey.
that was a good place to
good.
kind of wind this thing
Sure,
down.
you bet.
That's exactly, many people in this space and in crypto I find that have a deep faith, for number one. I see that a lot, and that's a wonder, that gives you hope. That's a beautiful hope to have. In fact, that's the ultimate hope. But when you have a financial avenue for you, and like you talked earlier about your children and generations to come, and we haven't, you and I have been in investments a long time. I've never seen an opportunity like this one. And it's, not only does it spring hope in an individual, it gives us all a better life. Like not just financially. It's gonna make our lives easier, the way we're talking about technical advancements. And I just think it's your channel exudes that every single episode you do is hope.
Try.
I love it, brother. That's one of my favorite things about you.
Yeah.
Is that true passion that you have about money, not just about money, but people.
Yeah.
And that's really my favorite part of your show.
Well, I really
That's
value
delicious.
that.
Thank
Alan.
you.
I really do. That's
Yeah.
very
Appreciate
good.
that,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for your energy. We love you guys.
Thank you,
We're,
Brent.
we're,
Thank you,
we're,
Brent.
we're blessed to be in this space with you.
Oh, well,
We feel
we feel
the
the same.
same,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
going to say, that is,
Yeah.
it resonates with us because, look, I mean, we just get in front of our phones, and we record this stuff.
By yourself, there's no crowd, there's
no
nothing,
crowd,
it's
there's
just
no
you and
nothing.
the people.
And so you just speak what's in your heart. But the thing is this, the community that watches it, that's what gives it value.
Sure.
In a way, it's almost like a whole living out of the whole supply and demand.
That's
You
right.
know, if no one watches it, there's no demand.
You're talking to yourself.
Yeah, I heard someone one time say, he says, look, if you say you're a leader, but you're out there and no one's following, you're just taking a walk. You're not leading
I think
anybody.
John Maxwell said that.
John
I think so.
Maxwell?
I think
Yeah.
that's
And
a
I
John
think
Maxwell
there's
quote.
a lot of truth. A lot of us think we're out there, we're leading, we're doing that. But the thing is this too. Like I said earlier, we're all fallible. We all make mistakes. We have our good days, our bad days. Look, some people have come out and said, "Oh, you guys are just too positive all the time." I'm telling you what, there are days, man. We've had our tears, and we have. If any parent has cried, isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
And so you got that
Joy and fear.
Yeah, it is. Joy. Yeah, I mean, it takes you. One of the best decisions we ever made was having kids, Brent. So when you get to do it, but still,
Yeah.
makes the adventure worth living. But yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you
but we
so much,
appreciate
Allan.
the
That's
time
really
that you guys
fun.
would even want us to come on your show.
Yeah,
You have a
sure.
great show too, and
You do.
you know
You
you're
do.
very encouraging as well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
thank
just
you.
us. You
Yeah.
have a lot to
just,
share.
I didn't want to just have a show in Vegas just about the show and
Yeah.
about the people behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I really want to see people for who they are and just sitting down on a couch and relaxing. And I think we just accomplished that.
Oh, I hope so. I hope you got to get a little taste of us.
We got to
right?
show off David and Judy.
All right.
Hopefully it doesn't scare your channel people.
They're going to be tickled.
Yeah, they're like, finally you got those two on.
Oh,
Yeah, they love you. So.
Oh, well, thank
that's
you.
All right,
Thank
guys,
you.
I think we'll end that video there. It's been great having everybody with us, and I hope to see everybody in Vegas next year. But if you can't make that, I understand why you couldn't. I know you're here in spirit.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
with that, thank you, Dave and Judy.
All right. Thank you, Allan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Brent. Bless you guys. Awesome.
brother.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. We are out.